And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. Ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. It's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. Ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma.
this a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. I'm a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it.
That is fast. I like it though. Welcome everybody to another episode of Head to Head with Brian Parker. Guess what? I am he. And we are back for another week of talk. Thanks everybody for tuning in, whether you're joining us on the live stream or on the replay. Thank you for tuning in. Please make sure that you like, share, and most importantly, subscribe. Why ain't you subscribing? A lot of y'all on YouTube right now, subscribe, hit the subscribe button, click the bell. It'll let you know anytime we add new content. We appreciate you, but also make sure that you share it, whether you're viewing us on YouTube, whether you're on Instagram. Let me make sure Instagram is up this time. Instagram is up. Whether you're on Instagram, whether you are on Roku TV. I know you can't share Roku TV, but maybe you can share the link somehow, let people know about what you watched. But we want to be able to spread the word about the show. We are in our 6th year on Head to Head, and that is extraordinary. As a lot of times podcasts do not make it that long. They come, they go, things change and things like that. So we continue to be here to talk to you guys, to have a conversation with you about things going on in the world. And yes, a lot of it is about current events, things going on in the world of politics, even though we did take a step back last week and talked about things going on with Chili from TLC. We kind of wanted to kind of get back into the flow of things. But there are definitely some serious topics out there that I like to discuss. A lot of them do involve politics because I like to make sure that you guys are informed, you're educated. What's going on, Nathan Duty? I see you over there on Instagram. To make sure that you guys are informed, things are explained and talked about in a way where people don't feel like they need a master's or a doctorate to understand what's going on. I think that's intentional a lot of times, that they want to make things seem more complicated so that people lose interest. They want to make it sound boring because people would rather scroll and watch a bunch of memes and reels and things like that that make you laugh. Don't get me wrong. I'm guilty of it. Lori, I don't know what it is about these aliens that I get such a kick out of, that tell all of the dad jokes or just the craziest jokes, and they whisper when they tell the joke, and it just makes it funny to me. But I'll just be anywhere and I'll watch them, and then it's funny because then I'll watch one, then I'll watch another, and then realize, oh crap, it's been 20 minutes and I'm watching these damn AI aliens whispering dad jokes, but they're hilarious as hell. Um, yeah, it's crazy. You gotta be careful with these reels, man, because that's exactly what they are. They will reel your ass in, and before and then me thinking about Nathan on Instagram. Then now, because I've been looking at them and posting them so much, I also now get the reels about people and their feelings about their jobs. Even if it's just satire where they'll say, you know, how do you let your boss know today is your last day at work? And last night it was Jamie Foxx on the piano singing, fuck you, fuck you. And then that's all it was, but it was just hilarious. So we spend time now sharing those with each other and things like that because it's absolutely hilarious. Not that we would really do all of that in real life, but it's a lot of, or it'll be like cats and stuff, and they'll slap each other or stuff like that. And they're supposed to represent coworkers or giving each other the side eye. I see a lot of them with clips from Training Day where Denzel will look at you somewhere and be like, my man. You know how he does that Training Day or whatever. It's always hilarious and stuff. But before you know it, you'd be like, damn, I done watched about 30 minutes of these reels and stuff because they're just hilarious. So there are plenty of content creators out there is what I'm getting at. And if you are a content creator and you would like your content put out on a bigger audience, consider Empower TV. We broadcast on Roku. We live stream our show here on Instagram, Facebook, as well as our YouTube channel, all at the same time. We air commercials, so if you want to be able to post events, products, goods, services, we're open to doing that as well. If you want to host a show and air it on the simulcast, reach out to us and we will see if it's a fit. If you want to be able to then have your own advertisers support your show, you can do that to help fund your show, your sources, anything that you need to fund. It's a good way of you being able to do that. I was just looking before we got on the show, Lori, just from the beginning of this year, and the show has had over, let me make sure I'm saying this right, I won't be lying. It's had 276 views, 808 viewing hours since the beginning of the year. So that's just on the Roku side of the platform by itself. Uh, with views coming also from Brazil, Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, and believe it or not, Venezuela. Yeah. So,
Well,
after everything gone down in Venezuela, we still got people on Roku watching us from Venezuela. That's pretty cool.
well, I think that's in terms of, and just going quickly back to what you were talking about with memes. For my best friends and people that have lived that don't live near us, that is our way of communicating to make sure that we're okay. I send you 50 memes all day. You read them, you this one. That's how we communicate.
Yeah.
And it kind of lifts my spirit, especially with the work ones. And you have the whispering aliens. There's a set of dogs that come up with the same dad jokes
Yeah, and
and
you've
stuff
been
like
sending
that.
those to me. Yeah. Yeah, the
Yeah, I
dog.
send you the this one with the dogs and this way and everything else. So it's just like
Yeah,
they're kind
if
of
you're
dry, but they're
if you're
funny.
if they're dry, but if you're a big pet person, it's more so the cuteness of the dogs and the joke to probably go along with it. You know,
Yeah.
I can take it or leave the dogs, but the aliens with the big ass heads and stuff, and they sitting there like this. Why is this? And I don't know. And then they say and they throw out the punchline. And they just also they go, and they're just hilarious. They're just hilarious.
It's just,
You know.
that's hilarious. And I think I sent you one today for like I think it's a AAA team, baseball team in Savannah who was doing some dancing to like Michael Jackson, and they do this one. I had sent that to you today because it was real cute.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Hey, from let's see here. Hey there. I'm gonna say, is it
Ari K. Cabriolet Fu you.
Ufi Uti something 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 something? FT, what's
Right.
going on? How you doing there? Hey, we also got a poll out. Now that we have some ability to do some polls, let me go ahead and post this poll and put it in the corner here. It's a pretty simple poll. Will the war in Iran be in by the end of April? Um, as many of you know, we have an excursion going on, which is not the right word. It's an incursion, but what does he know? There's currently an incursion going on in Iran, and there's a supposed ceasefire, but ceasefires are for a certain period of time. We don't even really know if the ceasefire is a real ceasefire. We'll talk about that in a second. Um, but will the actual war technically come to an end? Let me know what you think. Yes, no, maybe. And we'll look at the results at the end of the show. But yeah, so outside of the memes, AI, we're going into block one in case you're listening out there in AI world. Speaking of AI world, I got my Meta glasses, and I've been exploring the use of the AI as far as having the glasses and having um, my AI talk to me literally in my ear as I'm driving and stuff like that. And it's absolutely funny just to kind of see all the different things that it's doing. Still exploring with it. Um, But it's interesting. I was showing it to coworkers on one of our team's calls, and they were just fascinated by the technology. I even took it over to my mom. She was like, "Oh man, this is great." I was on the phone with my brother talking through my glasses, and was able to just hand her my glasses, and she could talk to him. So that was
And
interesting.
and also you look fabulous in your new glasses. You look really handsome and
Oh,
sexy.
well, thank you very much. Uh, oh, thank you, Ari. Uh,
Alex. Alex.
huh? What
Um,
happened?
they just wanted to be called Alex.
Oh,
Just
Alex.
say
Oh, I'm
Alex.
sorry, I missed that.
Alex. That's what I was like. And I wrote
Oh,
back and said
Alex.
hi there. Thank
Alex,
you for
welcome to
watching
the
the show,
show.
Alex.
Where are you from? Where are you right now? If you can let us know, if you care to let us know. I'm just interested to hear, see where people are tuning in from, because we tend to get a lot of people in the United States, but then there's a lot of times when people will pop up from Russia, Ukraine, all over the place. So
England.
yeah,
Uh,
definitely. So it's always kind of good to be able to know where people are listening from. And look, don't be a stranger. If there's a question that you have that's not even related to what we're talking about, feel free to ask. Um, the thing I like about head to head is if I could show you right now, I don't have any papers in front of me. I have my handy um tablet next to me in case I need to pull something up real quick. But I don't have a lot of prepared remarks. So a lot of the things that I talk about, I try to stick to things that I know about or things that I have an opinion on. Okay. And I'll let you know the difference about that, or things that I kind of I know a little something something about. But we kind of like to talk about those things. I try not to come in with a bunch of prepared remarks, like a politician would a lot of times. I like to be really authentic, straight off the top a lot of times, and rip, but not do it in an irresponsible way. Make sure that I've been caught up to speed on what's going on. But I really want you guys, no matter where you're tuning in, to realize that wherever you are, hopefully, if it's a free society, that you have the ability to get out there and use your voice and make sure that you vote. I say this every single time. If your vote didn't matter, people would not be out there trying to suppress it, trying to find ways to make it harder for you to do so, trying to find ways to distract you with a lot of things that don't mean a whole lot of anything, a lot of cultural things, turning people against each other while the folks that don't want you to pay attention are reaping the benefits from you not liking somebody else because of how they look, who they love, who they worship, um, their economic, social status. All those types of things are mere distractions. We're all on the same planet. We all bleed the same color blood. Um, and underneath, there's more that we have in common than the things that make us different anyway. But you will find people out there that, to distract you from the things they don't want you to see, we'll try to find ways to make sure that you fight over those small differences that you may have with other people. And we got to stop letting them do that. Once people find out that that don't work anymore, hopefully they'll give it up and stop doing it and move on to other things like being held accountable. Um, but there's always hope. All right, let's get into it. Block three AI, if you're listening, block three. Let's talk about this crazy war, Lori, that's going on in I was about to say Afghanistan. This war that is technically a war because it has all of the framings of a war, but it hasn't been declared a war. And the main reason, Lori, that it hasn't been declared a war is simply because when a president wants to declare war, they have to get it approved by Congress. And anybody knows about Donald Trump, he doesn't believe in going through proper channels to do anything. If he wants to do it, he believes in this idea of the unitary executive, which basically means I can do whatever the hell I want to do whenever the hell I want to do it. I don't need to ask nobody. Um, he was constrained from this ideology in his first term. But the one thing that he learned if he were ever to go back into office again, is that he was going to make sure that he surrounded himself with people that would subscribe to the theory of a unitary executive that would not push back. And it wasn't just people that he plucked for his cabinet, but it was people in the U.S. House of Representatives and the U.S. Senate that he knew he could control in a way that would go along with that, that would not say, hey, wait a minute, this is a decision that Congress is supposed to make. And if you're going to want to do this, we're going to force you to have to come to us, or we're not going to fund your stupid war. Because Congress also has the power of the purse. What does that mean? They approve funding for the government. The president's role in funding, Lori, is simply to be the executor of the bills that Congress has already passed. So if Congress passes funding for $200 million for SNAP, it is not up to the president to say, well, I don't want to pay that 200 the SNAP. I want to give 100 of it to something else, or I want to fund it. He can't reallocate funds that have already been decided by Congress. That's the way it's supposed to go. That's the way that it's gone for the last 240 years, but the last 10 have kind of been in flux. Um, because the president has decided that I don't need to go through all that. If it's something I want to do, I'm going to do it. If I want to tear down the east wing of the White House, normally that has to go through Congress because they would fund it. Well, he decided because he's not asking them for funds, he's going to have outside donors apparently fund it, that he's more within his right to tear down the east wing. But going back to the war in Iran, he didn't declare it a war because he knew he had to get authorization. So the only time that normally presidents can enter into a conflict, Lori, without going to Congress is when there is an imminent threat. What does that mean? Intelligence says that there are missiles on the way. There are troops on the way to fight us, and we don't have time to fully brief all of Congress. Maybe we have time to brief the high level people in the Gang of Eight. If you ever hear somebody talk about the Gang of Eight, that is just simply high ranking officials in the House and in the Senate, normally the Speaker, normally the minority leader of both parties, and normally high ranking people on intelligence committees and stuff like that, that would need to know, to have security clearance, that can hear high information stuff, where they can't sit in front of the joint body of Congress and say, this is why we need to do this because missiles are on the way. And even then, Lori, it's a limited operation to the point of the president can act in a defensive posture, not so much an offensive posture, meaning we can defend ourselves if there is a threat. We go on the defensive, and then in turn we're on the offensive because we're not just defending, like we're not just holding up our hands, but we're throwing them hands at that point. But when you start throwing your hands, well, I'm gonna throw my hands enough to get you off me. I'm gonna throw my hands at you enough to make you back up and pause. Once you pause, and if it's and if it's appropriate, I can then go to Congress and say, hey, I had to throw my hands up because we were getting hit on. Now I'm gonna come to y'all and see, do I need to lay this mother effer down? That's when I need to get y'all's authorization. Okay, there's a difference. Trump said that we went to the war with Iran because there was an imminent threat of Iran attacking the U.S. mainland with ballistic missiles, and they were close to having nuclear weapons. The thing that you have to understand about Donald Trump is I've never seen somebody that can say 4 sentences in a row and each sentence contradict the one before it. He will literally say one thing in one sentence. The next sentence will make the first sentence impossible. But that's what he will do. He'll say stuff and it won't make any sense. And the reason that I believe, Lori, behind it is he's a pathological liar, and he may be suffering from some stages of dementia. um, and he's not
May.
following any train of thought. Well, it's a high. Well, I can't diagnose him from afar, so I'm gonna say
Oh,
May. Allegedly,
yeah.
quite possibly, his dad died of dementia. So it's possible. He will be 80 this year. So it's not
Mm,
out of the realm of possibility.
mhm,
But I can't diagnose him. Um, he shows signs, not just from that, but the erratic nature, the blurting things out, just all over the place, things like that. Incoherent in the way he speaks. Sometimes he sounds like he's slurring his words. Um, there's a lot of things that point to it, but yeah, he would probably need. And then he brags about passing dementia tests. It's like, well, why the hell are you taking dementia tests? Only reason that you should be taking them is if there's a concern you may have it. And
mm.
then if you pass it, it ain't really something to brag about. Hey, y'all, I just passed this test, and guess what? They told me that I'm the only one that could ace it like that. That they've never seen anybody pass a dementia test like I do. That's not the flex you think it is, bro. It just isn't. But they pacify him, and they probably give him like stickers and candy and shit after the thing, so he can feel good about the fact that he passed it. But nonetheless, um, we went to this excursion, which is not a thing. You know what excursion is, Lori?
Yes, like
Would you
we're
consider? Would you would you consider it like it's like a trip? It's like hey, let's go on an excursion to Miami. Let's go on an excursion to Jamaica, something like that. I've never heard anybody call a war an excursion. I've heard it called an incursion,
yes, incursion, yes, but not excursion.
but he knows all the best words. Keep that in mind. I know the best words. I went to the best school. I know the best this, the best
I
that.
so shake my head on the Wharton School of Business. So shake my head.
Look,
They gave him that degree,
all
and I
that shows
shake my
you
head.
is all that shows you
Ooh,
is that money can buy you a whole lot of stuff. But once
it
you open
does.
up your damn mouth, none of that money matters anymore because then you are exposed. He spent all that money to convince people of one thing, but he can sit there and hold a press conference and you know the damn truth. So that's
Mm,
that part of that. But anyway, we went to the war as an imminent threat because he said that it was imminent that we were going to be attacked. Um, it was a joint operation with Israel under Benjamin Netanyahu, who has been trying to hold on to office for years because he is trying to keep from being prosecuted by the courts in Israel for crimes. And he uses conflicts to continue to stay in office because he knows that once he's out of office, he's likely going to jail. So he keeps trying to find a way not to get out of office so he doesn't end up in jail. Sound familiar? They have the same thing
again,
with
34 felonies.
yeah, yeah. Let that
But at
sink
least
in.
he was convicted of those. Yes.
Yeah, but he should have been convicted of more, and we'll talk about that on another show. How
Mm,
we can't allow that to happen again. Where when these folks'
no.
time does end up, we cannot go through another Merrick Garland episode where, in an attempt not to make the Justice Department look politicized, we are letting people get away from accountability. We cannot do that because the lesson that they learn is if they run out the clock, if they stall, if they use all these kind of tactics and everything, they'll never be accountable for their corruption. And there's a good chance that they'll end up back in office and then expand on that corruption, which is why you have to hold people accountable. It's the same reason that we lock people up in jail as a deterrent from doing it again. So when you don't hold people accountable for the things that they do, it gives them the ability to feel like, oh, I didn't suffer any consequences for my wrongdoing, so I'm just going to do it again. And this is what Congress has allowed Trump to do, even with this war, is not hold him accountable for not declaring it a war. And because they are so afraid of him, they are obfuscating their duty to hold him accountable and say, wait a minute, you need to come to us. It's been over 30 days now. You need to tell us what the plan is because you keep moving the goalpost as to why we're in this war to begin with. First, it was because of weapons. Then there was something about regime change. Now, before I even go into all of the reasons, when they said it was imminent, Lori, because of nuclear capabilities, we were told back in August of last year when they had Midnight Hammer, the strike into Iran, into the mountains and stuff, that everything was totally obliterated. Now, either we got to come to understanding about the meaning of words, because when somebody tells me something has been totally obliterated, that means that it's gone. It cannot be used again. It doesn't exist. It's gone. It's the word obliterated. It was once here. It's here no longer. All you can see are remnants of it, if that. It's gone. It's not, well, 6 months later, you can't just enrich uranium to the point that it's ready for nuclear use. There is a process of enriching uranium, Lori, that you can't in 6 months take something that was totally obliterated and then whip it up in a little bowl, stir it a little bit, you know, add 3 ounces of vanilla, and all of a sudden you got a nuclear weapon. It doesn't work like that. It wasn't imminent. What it more and look, the leadership in Iran has been a state sponsor of terror. Let's be honest. Yes, they have. They've been that way for a while. But they were more of a threat to Israel than they ever have been a threat to the United States. That's why it's leading people to believe that Netanyahu, I don't want to say tricked, but convinced Trump to get into this war. How do I know that? Because it's been reported that Netanyahu tried to get Obama, Clinton, and Bush to do the same damn thing. This is something that he has wanted for years. All it took him to do was to get into the colon of Trump, stroke him to get him to do it. And one of the things that I saw early on is when Trump was making it clear how bad he wanted the Nobel Peace Prize. And Netanyahu, in a joint press conference, has sat there and showed Trump a letter that he wrote to the Nobel Prize Committee recommending Trump to be nominated. Knowing that wasn't going to influence the Nobel Committee, but it didn't need to, because the only person he needed it to convince or to touch was the orange buffoon, and it did. It had that effect where he gave him the letter, and I think he put it in a damn plaque or something like that, because Trump likes trophies. He likes things given to him where it seems like he won something. That's why he always brags about when he goes to these golf tournaments at his golf courses that he wins the championships.
And that's why the White House looks like it's traveled back in time in old time Vegas. Everything is gold and gold plated and
He
gaudy.
he needs that feeling of that around him, and he surrounds himself with people. That's why other countries would come and visit. That he was trying to throw high tariffs on, and one of them brought him a damn gold bar. Others brought him very expensive gifts, crystals, and things like that. That number one, he's not even supposed to keep unless he gets Congress's permission about it. Why? Congress
Because that's
controls the
influence.
power of the purse. Who pays the president's salary? Congress. Think about your job. If your job issues you out gift cards, guess what happens at the end of the year? You got to pay taxes on them some bitches. I bet they don't tell you that. But if you get like a bunch of $50 gift cards from your job at the end of the year, you're paying taxes on them. They have to submit that to the IRS. Why? Because that is considered part of your income and your salary now. Well, when the president receives gifts of value like that, whether it's a painting, a crystal bowl, things from foreign countries when he visits, he has to ask, hey, is it okay if I keep this? Because that is something with value. And the only thing that the president is supposed to keep, Lori, is his salary. Why? Because the framers of the Constitution believed that the president, make sure you're sitting down for this, is a public servant. They're not in that position. Hope you're sitting down again to enrich themselves. That way, it would prevent, theoretically, a president from making decisions based on what they can get from the position and to do right by the people they serve. What a novel idea, isn't it? Does it
It's
sound
common
anything like our
sense.
current president? The man of the people that doesn't care about all of these riches and gifts because his main focus every day from the time he wakes up to the time he goes to bed is making sure that the people that he serves are better off today than they were the day before. Does that sound like somebody in the White House
No,
now?
no,
Shit.
absolutely not.
That's what it's supposed to be. So, anywho's, um, Trump thought that going into Iran was going to be a great way of flexing their muscles. He has Pete Hegseth as the Secretary of Defense, who wants to call himself the Secretary of War because it sounds more manly to him. And we'll talk about Hegseth and his despicable ass turning down promotions of black people and women because he
Hmm.
doesn't think either should have a seat at the table in the hierarchy of the military. Um, that I will not say alleged because he proves it over and over that he has an issue with people of color and women in high positions in the military. Um, because he's involving himself in promotion decisions, and those aren't even supposed to really be in front of him that way. There's committees that decide on star general promotions and things like that. He normally has nothing that position normally has nothing to do with it. Um, but he has stepped in and intervened a few times now to deny black people and women their proper something that they've worked years for in the military, all because he thinks that if he gives it to them, it's more of a DEI thing than something that somebody earned, which is rich coming from somebody that earned his position and his only credentials were really he was a host of a weekend show on Fox. If you look at his resume against Lloyd Austin, Colin Powell, other secretaries of defense, um, you tell me who the DEI hire is. I'll leave it at that for now. Um, but anyway, Trump is got us into this excursion. And he thought it was going to be really easy, really quick, really simple. Send the military in, bomb a couple of sites, get them to surrender, chalk up another victory, and that be over. Two problems with that. Number one, Israel wanted more than to just do a show of strength. Israel fundamentally wanted to change the regime, root out Hezbollah, which is why they're also attacking Lebanon. They Netanyahu had plans. He brought Trump along the way because he wanted to use the American military to die for his plans. we have lost 13 service members, and we had two that had, after being told that Iran's ability to shoot our planes out of the sky, turned around and shot an F-15 out of the sky, where they had to eject, and one ejected behind enemy lines, and 48 hours was ultimately rescued. Um, but during that rescue, two other AWACS, I believe, got shot down, and we had to fly over them and destroy them, so that the technology would not be in the hands of Iran, Iran. Um, Lori, now they are telling us, or let me back up even more. Then on Sunday, Trump, because the Strait of Hormuz is now being controlled by Iran. The Strait of Hormuz is a strait that runs along the coast of Iran. That is an international waterway for transit of goods and oil. And it's been a free trading uh, waterway. Typically, on any given day, over 150 carriers, tankers, etc., utilize that strait. Iran, taking the U.S.'s best shot as far as military power, they lost a lot of buildings. Their Ayatollah was killed and later replaced by his son. But they stood up anyway, Lori. They kept fighting. And what they did was then they started laying mines in the Strait of Hormuz and said, yeah, come on through here now. So it basically shut off the strait because tankers and boats were not willing to run their tankers and stuff into the straits, Lori, because they want them destroyed. So Iran effectively took over the strait. Trump kept coming out, talking about he didn't care about the strait because we're not influenced by the strait because we have all the oil we need in America. Again, this is still a dumbass that does not understand that every drop of oil that is in America is still part of the global trade. And how do you know that? If our oil had nothing to do with the global market, then our price of oil would not have went up. We do not have nationalized oil. What is nationalized oil? Well, nationalized oil is saying if you pump it in America, it's America's. You're not selling it outside of this country. It's nationalized. You pumped it in America, it stays in America. We do not have nationalized oil. Now, I wish we did. It would keep our oil prices down. We are on the global market. What does that mean? BP drills off the coast of Louisiana, and they sell that oil based on the current market conditions, right? Because why? They're in business for profit. BP in business for profit. Amoco, all of them in business for profit. They are not trying to. They don't want nationalized, and you know why we won't have nationalized oil, Lori? Because they make sure that their lobbyists go into any of them back rooms of Congress, take out people to dinner, and say, "We ain't nationalizing this oil, right? Here you go. Here's your check." And don't get me wrong, Lori. I'm not gonna lie and tell you that the only people they hand these checks to have a R beside their name. They hand these checks to people that got R's, D's. They don't care. You in Congress and you have low morals, they will give you a check for your vote to make sure that you do not nationalize oil, that you give them tax breaks and things like that as they're making billions and billions of dollars. Okay. So let's be clear. So when he says that, Lori, he says we don't need the strait because we have enough oil. And as a matter of fact, other countries, if y'all don't want to use the strait and you want some oil, come buy it from us because we have plenty. This fool is crazy. He does not understand trade markets at all. Again, he's saying something, but then in the next sentence, you're sitting there thinking, okay, well, if that was true, then why are the prices higher? Um, People don't understand too, Lori, that oil does more than just our regular gas. Jet fuel comes from that. Jet fuel affects the price of airline tickets. The more they have to pay in jet fuel, then prices of tickets start to go up. So we're seeing that escalate. Trucks run on diesel fuel. So trucks that deliver things to your area, groceries, materials, things that are those types of things, the prices of all of those things go up. That's going to cause a rise in prices. So people are getting hit all over the world with a rise in prices because Donald Trump decided with Benjamin Netanyahu to start a war that should have never happened. There was no imminent threat. There was a bunch of diplomacy going on. Now, I think it was more dress up to say that we want to act like we're doing some diplomacy so then we can say it ultimately failed and we had to go in and do this, where they were trying to work with Iran. If you remember several years ago when Barack Obama was president, they actually came up with an agreement called the JCPOA. And the JCPOA was a way of Iran not enriching uranium to make nuclear weapons, but for power and to make sure that they did the right thing, Lori. Guess what we had in place with Iran? We had inspectors that went into all of their facilities and would make sure that they were doing things on the up and up. When Trump came into office, because he didn't like anything that black man signed and put in the law, he got rid of, including the JCPOA. It was a bad deal. That all this and other, it wasn't a bad deal. It was a bad deal because he didn't come up with it, and Barack Obama did. And he's been jealous of Barack Obama because Barack Obama got a Nobel Peace Prize, and he's basically been told, "Ain't no way in hell you ever gonna get one." We sure did. We sure did tell you so. So he, in his uninfinite wisdom, decided to tear all that up. Now start all this stuff with Iran. So fast forward to Easter. This crazy dude on Easter Sunday. Did you see this post
Yes, I did.
where he
It's
tells them to
ridiculous.
open up the fucking straits, you crazy bastards, on Easter Sunday?
Unhinged.
You know, most,
Unhinged.
most presidents on Easter Sunday, regardless of what your beliefs are, would say Happy Easter to all those that celebrate the resurrection of Jesus Christ. I pray everybody has a safe and happy Easter. God bless America. That's what you normally get from a very even keeled president. Mention nothing about that. Lori, I don't, and here's the crazy thing. I don't think did you see on Monday they had the Easter roll at the White House that they do every year. Did you see this?
Mhm.
Where
I
this
didn't
fool
see
is
the Easter roll, but mm.
this fool is standing next to the damn Easter bunny in front of a bunch of kids talking about the war.
Yep, yep. I
Children.
I read about that. Mhm.
He's also telling them that I can sign autographs for you if you like, and you can sell them for $25,000.
Mm.
Then bragged on the fact that he was able to sign them himself because Biden had somebody go around with this huge machine behind him to sign it. And you know what they called it? The auto pen. He's saying this shit to kids. Tell me you don't know how to connect with young people without telling me you don't know how to connect with young people. You talking about a war, the Nobel Peace Prize, and the damn auto pen to a bunch of little children.
This administration just makes me
If
want to
Joe
just
Biden had
Google
done,
this.
if Joe Biden had done any of that, they would have been screaming 25th Amendment. Screaming. They were screaming it anyway. He's sleepy. He doesn't know where he is. He's a clone. He ain't real. He been dead for years. All kinds of crazy stuff. This fool is telling little kids that he can sign autographs for them and then go out and sell it. $25,000 at an Easter egg roll. They just there to go pick up some eggs and put them in a damn basket, bro. That's all they want to do. But yeah, that part. I thought that was crazy. Well, then, not to be outdone, the fool then follows up with a post later that night, I believe, to say that an entire civilization will die the next day.
That, and he also went after the Pope too, because he's going to set fire to the Vatican
Yes.
as well afterwards. I think that was Tuesday.
Now, I don't know if Trump is unaware of what the word genocide means.
Apparently not with that Wharton education.
But threatening to eradicate, and here's the thing: when we go to war or an excursion, it is with that country's government, military, etc. It is not with civilians. There is something called the Geneva Convention. You might
Yes.
want to look that up. That has been established. That going after civilians intentionally and directly is a violation of the Geneva Convention, to the fact that it is considered a war crime. You can be prosecuted as an international criminal at The Hague for this,
Yep.
which is funny because that was a position once held by Jack Smith. But you can be prosecuted for what? Now, here's the funny thing. Funny, not funny. You don't have to actually do it. You just have to threaten it. His post alone is the war crime. Whether he does it or not doesn't even matter at this point, because he put the threat out there that I'm going to commit an act of genocide. That is the crime. Not the fact that, oh, he didn't do it. Oh, that's just Trump's way of bringing people to the negotiating table, blah, 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 blah. I'm sorry, if you are really the true author of The Art of the Deal, having to threaten genocide should probably not be anywhere in your book as a damn negotiating tool.
And can we also talk about his deadlines? 2 weeks,
It's always
end
too
of day. Like, it's just, the war is going to be finished. It was going to be over in 2 weeks. Again,
everything's 2 weeks. Infrastructure, 2 weeks. Healthcare plan, 2 weeks.
groceries
2
going
weeks.
down, 2 weeks.
Well, that was day one, unfortunately.
Well,
But
no,
yeah,
that was day one, but he came back and said, it's still going down because we
but
have
yeah,
such a
we're
great
giving them another
economy.
2 weeks. That's exactly right.
We unemployment's down at 4.3%. That's like a job like increase.
Unbelievable. So now he throws out this deadline of 8 o'clock Tuesday. Everybody's watching to see what's going to happen at 8 o'clock. And hours before that, a ceasefire was announced that was going to last for how long, Lori?
I'm sorry, I was reading the comments.
I said a ceasefire was
It was
announced
supposed to
on
happen
Tuesday.
immediately. It
Yeah,
was supposed to
immediately.
be
But,
2 weeks,
how long?
but
How
2
long?
weeks,
It's 2 weeks, right? There we go.
but neither party knows that they were having a ceasefire
Well,
because
well, to the
Israel
point.
winning.
Well, what happened was Iran said we'll do it if you agree to our 10-point plan.
Right.
Trump,
The 10-point
not
plan.
paying attention to what the plan was, announced, "Oh, we got a good thing. They gave us their terms, and most of it seems agreeable. He obviously never looked at it because part of their agreement was we reserve the right to continue to enrich uranium. We're going to control the Strait of Hormuz and basically charge a toll of $2 million per ship that passes through. So, a couple of things, too, just to add before we get up out of here. The Strait of Hormuz, again, was an international waterway in international waters. There was no fee to go through the strait. Once oil prices started escalating, Trump did two stupid ass things because he thought it was going to help him politically. He removed the sanctions on Iran's oil, so now they're able to sell their oil in the market and make money. The same person that sat there and said how Barack Obama put a pallet of cash on a plane and sent it to Iran, which did not happen, sent basically Iran a pallet of cash by allowing them to be able to sell their oil. The other thing that he did was he lifted the sanctions off of Russia so that they can sell their oil and allow European countries to start purchasing oil from Russia to alleviate some of the stress of the oil going up. So now Vladimir Putin, who is bombing the hell out of Ukraine, is benefiting financially from Trump lifting sanctions. Iran is benefiting financially from Trump lifting sanctions, Lori. That's the result of his war. Is Putin and Iran are making money now off of lifted sanctions of oil to the tune of billions of dollars. That's one thing. Now Iran is charging $2 million a ship. And remember what I said, 150 ships before this were going through the strait. Multiply 150 times $2 million. And this is 150 a day. Lori, a day. That's crazy. So he has given Iran a better position now than they had before he went into his excursion, with no exit plan in sight. So when they came up with, okay, we're going to do the ceasefire if you go with our 10-point plan, he was more than willing to look at that as an off ramp. The problem was they made public what their 10-point plan was, and everybody else started looking around like, how is this a damn deal? And all Trump wanted to be able to say is, I solved it. It's over. I fixed it where nobody else could. Nobody else thought that it was possible. Give me my peace prize. That's all he wanted. He didn't care what they agreed to until he started hearing people say, "Oh man, you got taken. If that's what you agreed to, man, you're a sucker." And then it ended up happening on Tuesday, which again became another Taco Tuesday. So all of that, Lori, to say that now, and also part of the 10-point plan is for the U.S. to leave the area, to promise never to strike them again, for Israel to leave Lebanon and stop striking Hezbollah. Well, Israel acted like on Wednesday that wasn't part of the agreement. So they bombed the hell out of Lebanon and killed a whole lot of people that day. I think 200 people, 250. Which caused Iran to say, you know what? The strait is no longer open after 3 to 4 boats, I believe, did get through the strait. They have seemingly shut it back down again because they said that the U.S. and Israel are not honoring the agreement. So now we don't even really know if the strait is open or closed because nobody and no insurance company is willing to insure boats to go through the Strait of Hormuz because they may not make it out on the other side. All to say, your gas prices are not going down anytime soon. Even if the Strait of Hormuz opened today, Lori, literally right now, and boats started free flowing through it right now, your gas prices are pretty much what they are at least through the rest of this summer, going into the fall and winter. Other thing is that it's a good chance, Lori, that it will never go back down to what it was, even if it goes down a little bit. All because we have an idiot at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Hey, y'all, we started the show with the poll. Will the war in Iran end by the end of April? Right now, the consensus is no. I would tend to agree with that. Thanks, everybody, for contributing to the poll. Appreciate the comments there. Um, yeah, I don't. Do you think it's going to be over by the end of April, Lori?
No, absolutely not.
I don't even think the ceasefire is going to last the 2 weeks because he's getting so much backlash, not only from, as you would expect, Democrats and liberals, but he's getting backlash from Republicans. He got a lot of backlash from people because of his post on Sunday, from people like Alex Jones. I don't know if you heard what Alex Jones said, but Alex Jones was like, "Man, we got to get the 25th Amendment." He said Trump is gone. Marjorie Taylor Greene wanting the 25th Amendment. Megyn Kelly basically saying, "I'm sick of this. This is crazy." Tucker Carlson saying that you can't sit there and ridicule people's religion because that was of the other part of the message when he was talking about um, uh, his Sunday message, praise be to Allah, trolling Muslims. Um, we need those folks to speak out because if it's just people from the left saying it, then they'll just chalk it up to, well, the left wouldn't agree with Donald Trump if he sat there and said it was sunny outside and he wanted to eat a ice cream cone, that they would be against that. And there's some truth to that. But when you got people in your own party starting to say, wait a minute, man, you're going way too far. Now, I don't know why this is what's too far when he's done way so many other things that were too far, but better late than never to the party, I guess. Um, but we will see what happens with that. We didn't make it into the Pam Bondi discussion, but we will roll that over to the next time because we will see by the next show if she does show up to her April 14th deposition. The Justice Department is saying that she's not going to testify because she doesn't hold the office of Attorney General anymore. And we'll see if that dog is going to hunt. I don't think it will, but it may delay her actual deposition as they fight about it. But we will get into that next week for sure and figure out where we are a week later with this proposed alleged ceasefire. Y'all, thank y'all for watching so much. We do appreciate that. Again, if you want to like, share, subscribe, we would appreciate that. We are on a drive to 10,000 subscribers. Got a long way to go before we get there, but we know if we can get to 10,000, it will do a lot to really, really help this algorithm. And we want to be able to do it with your support. We thank y'all. We will see y'all again next week. Y'all take care. Peace.